Hey folks, today is Friday, April 19th, 2019. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, here to talk about the video game news and stuff. And I'm gonna get a haircut really soon, because last week somebody said in the comments that it looks like a wig. But we gotta talk about that. That's real. I took that to heart, man. A lot of big news this week, but can I just talk about something that personally I'm really excited about? Total surprise. They announced that they're kind of remaking 13. Yeah, that's that PS2 era first-person shooter game, kind of played like Time Splitters. It had a really, really cool cel-shaded comic book art style in the height of PS2 cel-shaded games. The game itself wasn't like amazing, but just the style and everything about it was just so cool that I couldn't help but love it anyway. They've announced that they're releasing it for all the consoles and PC in November with redesigned controls and completely redesigned graphics, and they've been using the word remake a little bit more. Just a weird announcement I was really excited for. Anyway, next. Now, before we move on, this episode is brought to you by Raid: Shadow Legends. If you're a fan of mobile gaming, this is free to play on iOS and Android right now. It's a fully featured RPG with a fleshed out storyline, voice acting, the whole 9 yards, pretty great looking 3D graphics. I'm a big fan of how the champions look. It's got turn-based battles, which if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of that mechanic. There's collectible and upgradable characters, there's loot, PvP battles, and just really a lot of stuff to keep you busy here. Raid is still getting big really fast, so you can start now and get a head start on the launch tournament that will have prizes. So if you want to get in on this, linked in the description below, you can download Raid only through our link to get 50,000 silver and a free Epic Champion courtesy of the developers and their new player program. But really, thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Thanks for your time with that, but the big story this week is about GameStop essentially kind of making a new effort to turn things around. We have talked about GameStop in the past. For those who don't know, in North America, it's one of the bigger game retailers like Game in the UK, but we've also reported on a lot of their failures and steady decline over the past few years with record losses, a buyout that dropped out. Bless you.
Thank you.
Different CEOs coming and going, trying to change things around. And the newest thing is this memo that was apparently put out internally for promotion for Days Gone. It's starting with Days Gone, but essentially it's a return program where if you buy the game, you have 48 hours to decide you don't like it, and you can return it for full price in store credit. Keeping it into store credit is, of course, how it benefits them, but that's very interesting. 48 hours, if you don't like the game, you can return it. That's some of the more flexible return policies we've seen, especially for like a brick and mortar retailer, and it's definitely, to me, GameStop trying to make big moves. Like I said, this promotion is starting with when Days Gone releases. We don't know exactly how it's going to work for every single individual game, at least I don't. Is it weird that the first thing I think of, though, when I saw that is a bunch of crazy people playing, like binge playing a game for 48 hours to be able to see it fully to completion and then return it? Are we gonna see stuff like that? It kind of opens the window for it, and I know some people out there are crazy enough to do it. I mean, I've beaten games in one sitting before, and to have the opportunity to bring it back, that's kind of crazy. I'm really curious to see how this goes down, see if it actually sticks, because GameStop in the past has implemented a bunch of random strategies that didn't stick, such as game rentals. Remember that? We talked about that. That never panned out. I also bring it up because it's a really fun conversation. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Do you see yourself taking advantage of that program? Let's talk. Moving on though, and something a little bit more entertainment news, but it kind of flew under the radar. And to be honest, I'm actually really interested. We have our Master Chief for the Halo Showtime series. Now, for those of you that don't know, Showtime is producing a live action full Halo series. Seems like it's finally going to be like the closest thing we're gonna get to a movie, the movie that they've been trying to make forever. But we have the official announcement for who's playing Master Chief under that armor, and it is an actor known as Pablo Schreiber. As of right now, he's most notable for Orange is the New Black. I'm not familiar with that show. I don't really know much about this guy, but apparently he is very tall, so I guess that's what you need for Master Chief. He looks fine. Honestly, I'm just curious to see like how his voice will work, what they'll do. Will he ever take his helmet off? I have a lot of questions for how they are going to implement this, and I do look forward to it just because I like to still always give video game media a shot. I mean, look how good Castlevania was on Netflix, but even still, it's entering production later in the year, and it doesn't actually have a release date yet, so we're probably gonna wait a while. Honestly, more than anything, where's that goddamn Sonic the Hedgehog trailer? I need that, just like pour that garbage all over me. But in another interesting little tidbit, YouTuber Tyler McVicker has been kind of collecting stuff, leaks from the canceled Left 4 Dead 3 project. Now, we've talked about this a long time ago because there have been little leaks and little murmurs here and there. But what we do have is pretty special. It's essentially Left 4 Dead 3 screenshots of an environment that seems like way different than environments from previous games, but definitely interesting. Apparently, the data references 2013, and it has been noted by him that the game was kind of like unceremoniously canceled in 2017, which is actually way more recent than I expected, but I doubt it was even being worked on at that point. But I just wanted to bring it up because it's recent, it's interesting, but also if you look back further, there is little bits of detail, like there's character art out there, there's a lot. And I've just been thinking about Left 4 Dead a lot lately because World War Z is out. We did a before you buy on it. It's actually surprisingly good, and it kind of scratches that Left 4 Dead itch a little bit. It's not perfect, but I think it's fun. Now, quite a bomb that dropped this week was the PlayStation 5 news. Now, we did make a video about this already, so I'm not going to go into it too much into detail, but this show is about giving you guys the news, rounding up the week. So here's the deal. Wired published an article where they got to officially interview Mark Cerny, one of PlayStation's big head architects. He was one of the designers behind the PS4, and now he's the designer of the next PlayStation, and he went on record confirming quite a bit of things. First and foremost, a lot of the rumors suggesting that it was AMD chipsets are true. The GPU is based on the Navi architecture, and the CPU itself is pretty much the newest generation Ryzen. I'm glossing over some of that detail just because I think the other stuff is actually very exciting too. Like I said, that video we made will be linked in the description. Physical media is still in. It will have a disk drive. It will be backwards compatible with PS4 games, which I think is also very good. I'm glad that these companies are finally starting to come to grips with implementing backwards compatibility. But the most exciting thing is that it's going to have an SSD. For those of you that don't know, it's all the rage in PC gaming, flash-based memory. These hard drives are beasts. They're ultra fast. Apparently, they do have developer kits. So Mark Cerny was able to demonstrate Spider-Man loading fast travel on PS4 and then it running on this new generation console, and the fast travel and loading time went from like 14 seconds to 0.8 seconds. Now, while we don't know what exactly this SSD is, like the tech specs behind it or who's manufacturing it, Cerny did go on record saying that it's faster than any other SSD on the market right now that you can get for a PC. That's crazy. That might be the game changer. Very curious to see what developers will do when they know they are working with base consoles that can load in a world this fast. It can produce things this fast. I'm just excited. Again, I do think like things are moving very fast. Like some people will say that consoles are still underpowered, but then other people are going to be like, what the hell? I just bought a PS4 finally last week. But again, they also did confirm that we won't see it in 2019. So there's that. As someone who plays on PC, I don't have the biggest horse in the race, but I do have a horse in the race in terms of just watching it all go down because it's fascinating. Speaking of fascinating, Xbox did finally come out and announce their Xbox One S all digital edition. This was leaked a couple of weeks ago. We did talk about it. It was one of the top stories on our Friday show. And interestingly enough, that's what it is. It's a 1S, and it's got no disk drive. It's all digital, but the price is $250 American dollars. And I think this is where they kind of dropped the ball. It's a weird move. I like the fact that they're experimenting on it. Whether or not you like the all digital thing, that's besides the point. I think the price point is still a little too high. It doesn't really justify anything. It's just an Xbox One S, which, I mean, like an Xbox One S right now, when you can kind of find them on sale on Amazon for like $200 sometimes. All this stuff is interesting, from the next generation PlayStation to this Xbox all digital experiment, but I'm really curious to see what you guys think in the comments. But something I do want to talk about, hot off the heels of Star Wars Celebration, last week we did talk about the official reveal trailer of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. It's being made by Respawn, and despite it being under the EA name, it has the potential to be actually like the first good EA Star Wars game. I'm hopeful. I'm just as skeptical as all of you guys, but I like to look on the bright side. We shall see. But the newest news from Star Wars Celebration, with an interview from the game's director, Stig Asmussen, interestingly enough, a couple of small details. The first thing is that Respawn was apparently working on something else when Star Wars came to them. Apparently there was this project that they were on, the team was very excited about, but then they had the opportunity to work on Star Wars and they thought that was cooler, so they went with that. I would love to know what that game is. I got a couple things in my head, but it could also be something completely random, who knows? But the other bit of news is basically how a lot of the game works in terms of fighting and combat. The combat is apparently very focused. It's not just like swinging around a lightsaber like crazy. Apparently different enemies have different weaknesses, and you need to figure out those weaknesses not only just by playing, but by actually progressing and learning new abilities and figuring out which abilities work for different enemies. They threw around the word Metroid for that type of thing, and I'm very curious to see if this turns out to be like an Arkham-style combat game. I don't know. Arkham with wall running could be kind of cool. Sign me up. But he also confirmed that there will be boss battles in the game, and I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping that there are boss battles where it's one-on-one lightsaber duels. I'd also very much like to fight a Rancor as a regular Jedi and not a ultra-powerful Jedi like Starkiller in Force Unleashed. The possibilities, the opportunities are really exciting, so I'm keeping my eyes open for this one. But now, of course, we got a couple things rounded up, linked in the description below, just some stuff in case you missed it this week. The first thing is the reveal, and now he's in the game. Joker from Persona 5 is in Smash. The video breaks down a new stage that is absolutely incredible. I'm all about it. We also got the Mortal Kombat 11 launch trailer, and I've been saying it. These people make fantastic hype trailers and videos. Something about them just get me excited. And the fact that they use the original Mortal Kombat theme, kind of pulling those nostalgia strings. It's working for me. I don't know why my voice went so high. I'm sorry. Also, you should definitely catch this. He doesn't need any of my help at all, but Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD, the man himself has been working on these YouTube originals that's a retro tech, and his first one is a look at the original Game Boy. And it's just a fun, creative video. As somebody else who just makes videos about games all day, this approach is really interesting, and I think it's worth the watch. Again, my voice. Why am I doing that? Regardless, I want to know what you guys are thinking, but before we go, we got to do that console giveaway we do every single week. You know how this goes down by now. There's a link in the description below. You go there to sign up. You enter once, you enter for good, and then every single week we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that. Definitely answer so we can send you your free stuff. But now we got to talk about all the stuff going on. Like I said, I really want to know what you guys think about GameStop'S return policy. Could you see yourself taking advantage of that? Have you taken advantage of that on PC marketplaces? Physical merchandise is a whole interesting, different beast, and I just want to know what you guys think. Also, with the Xbox One all digital and the PlayStation Next, the PlayStation 5, whatever you want to call it, how you guys feeling on that stuff? If you're a console player, are you ready for an upgrade? Or not quite yet? And just for gauging interest, the new Mortal Kombat launch trailer, are you guys interested in that? I just want to know so we can plan how many Mortal Kombat videos we're going to be making. That being said, there are a lot of really good YouTubers out there that specialize in Mortal Kombat that are absolutely worth checking out, but I digress. I'm here every Friday talking about the news. I'm also doing Before You Buys throughout the week. We're also live every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, if you want to come on by and see a video game talk show where we give away free stuff and just have a good time talking about news and games we've been playing. But other than that, thank you guys as always for coming around on Fridays. Appreciate it, man. Clicking the like button does help us out. We do appreciate that. But if you're new, you should subscribe because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.